one eye problem that has been on the mouth of a lot of health workers, a lot of optometrists, is cataract. Over the years, WHO has been sounding that it is becoming a very wide and big worldwide health problem, and it's time we took a good look at it. And so if you are going out, I beg you stay. This could change your life. We have an optometrist in the house, Dr. Agyemang. I hope I mentioned your name correctly.
Yes, please. Yes,
and you're welcome to the show.
All right, thank you very much.
It's a privilege to have you here. Optometrist in Ghana. So we're happy to have you in the studio this morning.
Thank you for
So
having me.
we've heard, I was reading about the WHO's report on cataract, and they're sounding, everybody go check your eye. This thing is becoming a worldwide problem everywhere, especially in Africa. So let's talk about cataract, and then you would answer why it's so all over the place in Africa.
All right. Thank you for having me. My name is Dr. Agyemang Daniel. I work with Third Eye Care. I'm an optometrist. So let me start by explaining what an optometrist does, so that there's not a lot of confusion. Okay. So optometrist, my piece 2x4,
but you bet you.
No problem. So an optometrist is a primary eye care specialist. So anytime you have any problem with your eye, then there's an ophthalmologist. There was a little confusion there. Yeah. So the ophthalmologist is like a surgeon. So when you need complicated issues, when you have complicated issues, you need surgery, then you see an ophthalmologist. And then
I'm glad you clarified, but let's do it again before we even go to who. Listen. So optometrist is a primary eye care.
Yes.
And so from there, if there's a complication, then you go to the ophthalmologist. Then from there, there's a third one.
That one there, from the ophthalmologist, then only God can help. So there is an optician. Yes. And they are the technical people, so they fix your glasses, fix your frames, help us. And then there are optical nurses, and so they assist everybody. And so it's a whole team. We work hand in hand to help everybody with eye care issues.
Thanks for the education. We appreciate that. So let's talk about cataract now.
Okay. So cataract. So I made some images available if they can display them. Okay. So the way the eye works is that, first of all, we use light to see. And so when light hits the eye, it passes through some structures. So the part that we see, it looks black. It's called the cornea. Actually, it's transparent. And then when light passes through that, it passes through something we call a pupil, which is a small hole. It's like a camera. That's how the eye works. The eye is like a camera. And then when the light passes through that small hole, it passes through a transparent structure. It's like, it's biconvex, meaning that it has two curves at both sides. And then, so that's what we call the lens. Right? So the light passes through the lens, and what the lens does is that it directs the light to an important part of the back of the eye, and that is taken to the brain. So basically, that's how we see. So if you look at the image there, we circle the lens as the blue thing. So that's how the eye works. So cataract is a disease that happens to that lens. There are different diseases that happen to the eye, but cataract is a disease that happens to that lens. So that lens, there are two things that it does. So there are two things that help it to do the job that it does. So the first thing is transparency. It's very transparent, so that when the light is passing through, it passes through smoothly. And the other thing too is that it can change shape. And the changes in the shape help you to focus at different distances. Right? Now, any time that the transparency is lost, we call it cataract.
Wow, so this eye, the black that we're seeing, is quite shiny. It's beautiful. But if it begins to look dull, is that it?
No, so the lens is inside the eye.
Yeah.
It's behind the things that we can see.
Is it that small black thing we see in the middle of the eye?
So there's a middle, there's like a black hole, sort of.
Yes.
Now the reason why there's a black hole is that the structures behind them are transparent, so you can't see anything. So there's darkness. Now, if you get cataract, that transparency is lost, so it looks white or sometimes yellowish. And so you would see the yellowish appearance in the middle of the person's eye.
What brings about this?
All right. So, first of all, cataract is the leading cause of blindness in the entire world. So, it is not only Africa. So, everywhere, cataract is the leading cause of blindness. Now, the reason is that the most common cause of cataract is aging. So, as long as you live long enough, at a point, you may develop some forms of cataract. So that's why cataract is everywhere. So that's one of the main causes, which is the leading causes. Now, there are some things that can affect how early you get your cataract. And so one of the things is...
all right, so not to cut you,
no
please
problem.
pardon me. We have a couple of photos on the screen. I think it explains what the optometrist was talking about. And so stay with us. I'm sure you've learned something that could change your life. Stay with us. Okay, please continue.
All right. So even if when we look at the images on the screen, so if you look at the first picture, we said the normal eyes. You look at the middle of the lady's eyes, you don't see anything. It looks, maybe there's a little white reflection there. But you look at the second picture, if you look at the left eye or the right eye, you see that in the middle there's something white there. And if you look at the man's eye, you see there's something white there. So both the child and the man have cataracts.
Wow.
And so that's why there's like a whitish appearance, sort of.
The first thing you said was aging.
Yes.
But here we have a child.
Yes.
Who has it? How do you explain that?
Right. So another type of cataract is called congenital cataract. And then also, even children can get cataract. So congenital cataract is that children are born with cataract. And it happens when maybe the mother had an infection while she was pregnant. Or there was some sort of trauma, maybe she had an accident while she was pregnant, or she took certain medications while she was pregnant, or even in the delivery process there was a problem. And in all these cases, the child can be born with that whitish appearance in the middle of the eye. Ideally, it's supposed to be transparent or appear black.
Okay.
Yes.
And it can be helped?
Yes, so usually for the kids, surgery will be an immediate thing they have to do for them, considering other matters.
All right, so we were looking at the causes of cataract, and you mentioned aging, inevitable. Yes. Whether we like it or not, we're going to age sometime. What else causes cataract?
Right. So even in the aging, one of the things that we want to look at are certain lifestyles that we live. So one is smoking, right? So there's a lot of, they are still doing research to find out what exactly the link is, but seeing that people who engage in those practices usually develop cataract a lot earlier. So there are other diseases in the body like diabetes. And diabetes is very important in cataract. So usually people who have diabetes develop certain forms of cataract a lot earlier than people who don't have diabetes. There's also, let me say, bad eating habits, right? So if you don't
How do you explain that? What is bad?
Okay, so what I mean by that is that a balanced diet will reduce the rate at which you will develop cataract. And so if you're not necessarily having a balanced diet, the probability that you develop cataract a lot faster is also equally high. Unfortunately, I've left the three people out. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Now, Ejeka said, no, DNA, obetumi enya cataract. I think so. Waka say 1 year, enum's great. One unso so yenche dem hunu. Ade potia, ema 1 year enum's great enya cataract no. Enso so yehunu say 1 year enum's great no mpempi no. Ya na wotan enya cataract. And oka bibi says ye nidi year. And non so to me, Ecofa cataract. But I'm Buza and say, now, Ocas, any day, no need, no, Ocas, and your brony friend a balanced diet, and it says, do you bani to so DNA? And say, you near no, a near yet, no.
Oh, sir. You know, maybe person maybe it sounds so dreamy.
Oh, with my country.
Make a common year shall say, and what can be say a year more for a crown or mutiny enya. ya wachiri mu ne say betumi awo abofra bi na bia ne maame ho ka kakra ana say bia ne maame na kono maduru bia enwo say yema abofra no ze apemfo no onim wa se wo hwe wo nua ne die mu ne niam a wonom enuro bi wo ho yema obate na nyem ma abofra no ti wanhwe na akokɔ no mu anu nyina atimi kokɔfa saa omo fɛn bi se ete ne da wani so ne boa nti eno nkomo ne yedi na mpese me bisa se sebi ho fa ncheme na me pese me kan se na wo bete ase obehu se obehu penimu bi na sebi o ya look me London what ma look me London aha asa me hwe so me hwe eno ye bi ana
look me no obi wa ha obetima yesa wa cataract but enye ni nia na ye cataract enye ni nia na ye te aha ebetima yesa your muscles bia a movie we ni nti say ohwe up muscles no echo up nti ebetima yesa or problem with the muscles nti ohwe ni say a ema no eni ni ntimi nkọ bia opese ohwe obi so ha eni bako eye clearer chain the other eye nti intimi focus here nti just a brain ni a shift one eye kakra na good eye no a focus kakra
right nti eno sa na nye de bia eno nkyere se nipa no wo bibisa can it be corrected then I know say we are discussing I wanted to differentiate say eye gbe na say we say nye no dia now I'm just saying maybe another time we could talk about that and what happens to it the times that it could be say eye cataract no what do we do about it?
So the times now, it depends on one, how long the cataract has been there. And it depending on the severity of it, but depending on all those factors, no, a bit more correct,
correct.
For example, we have surgery, now, vision is very clear away inside that, a bit more straight.
Okay, now let's go to this. At what point? Let's talk about pregnant women since we started talking about pregnant women. But let's talk about pregnant women. Say, what so be fat no, someone is pregnant. Na ye hunu say or no ne ye bi to me e kokka abofra ma onya yare ye bi tizasa no. Then say at what point na was say a pregnant woman no it be eye clinic.
As for pregnant woman and kasa there untimi ba eye clinic.
Okay.
Because once a baby in the specific organs no untimi shada enhu say we atosini and say we okay and untimi shada enhu and usually at birth na one of the first things I'm check here a few other things we check the light befa akola ni ahwe say once a unhu say emu aye white na you know say bibi a little wrong until share images now but who say in the left eye no this is immediately after birth no
ultimo say
bibi AC because I can say about to say right eye no but to share left eye no say more fita
inti wadwuma start free her
patron
okay inti from this stage you know now was some dia abofra no ne den
inti from this stage you know usually say unya abofra ni ISA enye enini nkwa ebetima other factors until we check all other factors until from there no say if it's just eye because of your abofra no do wait a little but usually surgery is the main thing
that happens
surgery
the
is
main thing that happens okay
manentwa because you were talking about the causes you talked about aging lifestyle smoking balanced diet and all that. What else can predispose somebody to getting cataract?
A lot of exposure to radiations, and unfortunately,
what sort of radiation?
So X-rays, unfortunately, UV radiations from the sun. That may be one of the reasons why in Africa there were a lot of numbers because the sun is out.
Space.
But I don't know optometrist Muamaka says space now being so big to me because if it doesn't have UV protection now that's say yes because you're chef for life but the dark should have UV protection
but it should have UV protection but It's better than nothing.
Nothing.
It's better than nothing.
Nti wo see awia e hye eno kra na answer na obeto aso no. Say awia ye ne nati o. Ghana nti kwan ben ye befa so aboy ani hu by apart from say ye share space akata ni kwan ben bi.
Apart from space maybe you betima share especially say obe oh yeah there we run for a very long time betima share check just to prevent the direct contact. Apart from space and our dark shades ni channel, I'm not sure what else because that's where we are there. But it's not just a keke, it's a long exposure. Internet say in your old age, you know, you develop it because why you're exposed for a very long time.
Into 1 year peja when ni share we are so no area pie na wo peja when ni share we are directly in this idea no wo see enye e wo see eja side
enye but peja when ni share we are directly cause cataract. But once we get exposed to UV radiations and with time a bit more fasting the rate at which we develop.
So you mentioned X-ray.
Okay. Yes.
And then which other one?
So any of the radiations, X-ray, gamma ray, any of the radiations.
Right.
Now, more doctors, you are the ones who are really exposed to radiation because you work with the machines and all of that. Into where are you talking for the health workers or everybody? Let's look domestically. If fear your war, what emits radiation? Is it the phone? What?
Yes, it's a phone, microwave, but some radiations, no. And enough based on quantity. The only thing is it's a kekaboso for a very long time.
Long exposure.
Yes, it's a long exposure.
Microwave so many years.
So many years. No.
Phone no so many years.
So many years. Along the line, no, it will increase the rate at which you will develop the cataract.
Internet is I was the phone need to baby. Because some people sleep with their phones right by
but
heads,
phone rays, no, it's not direct like the UV radiations from the sun.
Good education. All right, so you've talked about diet, the sun, lifestyle, smoking, and all of that. Is there anything else?
There's one more thing I want to talk about: trauma, and it happens a lot to children. So obine nadam fudi agrona maybe or the broom bee, awonini, and now the sabonini. You can easily develop cataract.
And one year bonk of asum rough from so be or bow be asum fanany.
Yes, you can
that
easily
can
develop
expose
cataract.
You to cataract.
Yes.
Well, talk to us about that because especially parents, Ghanaian parents, be brave, yes, I no. Oh, cases soon say what a bow bana sum ta bonani so especially 1 year bow oba bananyate. Who kinds of soon
Sorry. And once anything can hit the eye, say either say accident or once be boy in there, you can easily develop cataract. Now, no cataract, no, and instant. Inti, and ya dia born now, who say we develop cataract. Until with time, no, to be developing. Until one day, we shall I say okosukua or complain say who are there. Now, if it's a very shy child, so on cash in child, just say wumpu. But by the time I ube who are calling no, na cataract no advance pa into na we
yeah, maybe me na optometrist be so kase. Who say a no, I had dull senior na that TV ni so. Na say advanced stage crown on. A shako na chesa. How do we prevent cataract?
So, because the number one cause is aging, it is almost impossible to say you can prevent.
Okay.
You didn't come with the solution.
Oh, I came with a solution. The solution is not, you can't prevent because as long as you live long enough, you will develop
what
some
if you are in the
cataract.
habit of visiting your optometrist every year?
Yes.
Like we do with third eye. So every year you go, can't they detect it and do something for
What
you?
will happen is that you won't go blind with cataract. So a lot of people go blind with cataract because they don't visit the clinics. They don't check up what is going on. And they don't think there is a solution for their problems. A lot of times...
You mean here in Ghana?
Oh yes, it happens a lot.
A solution be
normal.
Hey, but
yes.
Oh, until both say afe na who are dear Blair.
Yes.
Into who figure no say or ho. I don't know who about who say or no about who ye. Uhu nanim.
And if any kusukusu
Ha, nti ube se washe blue but afa e color foforo bi e de amount.
Nti eno ne symptoms no. Nti first one you feel be cloudy vision.
Right.
Nti as a ohwa there as a smoke be ewa around.
And we
see because cataract no especially at a little cloudy, looking a little white and yellowish. And it's also shad, yeah, it also looks a little cloudy and a little whitish in the background. And then one of the most common symptoms. The next one here, a very big glare. So opia bontia, if you need too much mano, because you see, once the transparency of the lens is lost in it, the light ni coma escata instead of say ebe directly into the right place because of loss of transparency into a scatter light into opia na I say light no a bit too much
shemu your opia as a wia wo wonani wia no anu odin ma no
ontimi bi nani enhwa de kra because light no enye smooth into the scatter bisa we another good picture into a scatter. The next thing if be halos around light it is a oshe lighter rainbow colors no
say a light ya
a light ya so no be who say rainbow colors around the light
too many colors
into say light na white but on no sure obetime hu red green ni blue who light no
e wo light na
yes say white light and kasankasa no different colors of light na yaka boom
yes
and then a white light but if your vision is fine now white light now you should see it as white but cataract because of lens now opaque nintino it will split the light a little for you into some circle of light around it that have different colors instead of sending you one white light
into even say fear bulb essentially
exactly any a good example
we share bulb na say hu aye
colors
red,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's a circle one.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about self-medication from the word go. When people start to instead of obekwa the right source no pusa nani ano no ankase agba ewura shop no akopa aduru. Mimi say ade e me yapa o mani ho ye ehuru. Se ehuru komani a e me yapa anase de hye to wani ase ya pa won say atwi wani ase sa na say kro to wani ase a mpembebre no we feel say oh we dey say eno abeko ana bibi ketua bi oh monko drugs let me call pharmacy and now wherever it is monko to eye drops and bin so nim side drops mu gu awodo tini e de gugu yani is it also so and also betimi ama inya yare bisa na
patwa inti ye wo edru bi a friend no corticosteroids and steroids so inti steroids basically fight inflammation.
Okay.
Now some of the signs of inflammation maybe pain, redness, some swelling inti so obinya pain bi obinya osrena ni near red na ya pharmacy, one of the things are a bit man steroids. Okay. But steroids work very well and very fast. A little aggressive. And you dry you use all the time and for very long time. Until your be tapering. Until usually so who use steroids who start it twice a day. By the time I'll be in so we were once a day.
Oh.
Until so start it 4 times a day. By the time I'll be will course no. I also would do once a day from maybe 4 times to 3 times to 2 to 1. Sunny a lot of the steroids because I'm very very aggressive. But a year juma to be ha na wato maniba and wato to say first aid e wo fie obi si nani ye ne ya no man 1 drop obi si nani ye redder no man 1 drop until with time constant use of steroids you can develop cataract very very fast.
Wow. So that is one of the causes.
Yes.
All right. So you were talking about the symptoms.
Yes.
Glare vision, inability to withstand the sun, the lights we see around the normal bulbs. What else?
So the general vision problems into reading trying to just blur vision, and also another one, just general vision problem. To be say as a vision a reducing, and also say oko eye clinic, we are osha space. Now oko eye clinic. Now every time year o test, maybe every year be our tester, you say prescription necessary. That's another way to know say maybe cataract is
now optometrist who say cataract but also me vision assessment then tell me I have cataract so that the appropriate help could be given.
Cataract there are different stages.
Okay.
Into very early stages and yet to it's obvious but and cheddar hard dream because it may not affect your vision in very early stages.
And can you detect it with your machine? That's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
because I'm at the early stages of developing cataract. But you should be able to get it with all the machines you have.
Yes, we can detect it in the very early stages.
Okay.
So
once you detect it, what can you do to prevent? Can we prevent it, or once it starts, we can't stop it?
Once it starts, what you can do is that you can slow the rate at which it develops.
But you can't prevent it,
because the number one cause is aging, and as you grow, it's a gray hair. That's a good example.
Okay.
This all shine die.
Ocean die cry.
For a while, a very black I agree.
Right in the back. It is like that.
So you can only control it.
So what you can do is that fun is because the statistics is that about 1 in every 20 people over the age of 50 have cataract.
Worldwide?
Yes, worldwide. Even worldwide. And almost about 90% of people over the ages of maybe 65 to around 70 have it. And so what you can do is say, the issue with cataract is it's blinding you and changing your life. That is the issue.
With it.
That is the issue. Because as for cataract there, to say that you won't get is almost impossible to say. But it doesn't change your life. It doesn't, because it changes a lot of people's lives. Just say, a lot of villages, I hear a lot of screenings, a lot of villages, I'll be a bit sniffy because and that's a change of life. It can affect his livelihood and everything. It shouldn't be that case. There are solutions so that you can still do everything that you want to do. And the number one solution here, glasses. And so that is usually for early stages of the cataracts. Into afina airba and yet too opaque. What the glasses will do for you is one, you can do what we call photochromic lenses. Photochromic lenses, what they do is that they absorb the radiations from the sun. They also serve as a protection for you when you step outside.
Okay.
And then the prescription in the glasses will now make your vision better. Cloudiness now you wouldn't see it anymore whilst you have your glasses on. That's one of the first things. The second thing where it's more of you are delaying is the diet and the lifestyle. Especially say we are diabetics here. Once you keep your sugar in check, the probability that you develop it faster would reduce a lot.
Let's look at our markets and every fruit and vegetable we have on the market, the Ghanaian market. Yeah. Which fruit would you say is best for the eyes? Or vegetables too?
Yeah, okay. So
and maybe fish or meat.
Fish is part. Me personally, I don't like talking about diet and eyes because you can't eat for your eyes only. And not possible. Now, the way the body works is that what is usually good for the entire body is really good for the entire body.
That's a great education.
Yes. Into things that are fruits and vegetables, whole grains, as opposed to, say, processed foods. Into processed foods. But whole grains, nankasa to say wheat, I won't say a money they are processed kakra.
But brown.
Exactly. Brown rice say a whole grain. It is whole grains, no. Fiber it's very good. Now, if it be green leafy vegetables, into contumely, it's very good for the eyes.
Dandelions.
Yes, dandelions, very good for the eyes, very good for the general body. BBA war that gives antioxidants into your almonds, granules, peanuts, your even eggs, because eggs have omega-3 fats with fish, things like that. Until once you are eating a very balanced, healthy diet, it affects every part of your body, including the eye.
Our time is really. When you're
Yeah, and
having a
salmon,
conversation, by the time you realize
salmon.
salmon,
Yeah, I always you see, yeah, na ye didi mu no, say when did he say ya, nature say, oh, you know, yeah. Some people have that problem.
Why mean that you now
Just Sebi obi o a na didi mu different, you know. Ontimi kra didi nipa mu because e bia o feel say when did he say ya, nature say when did he cry? And you know, I'm saying, say, you can always beans. You bet me the beans in exchange. Would bet me when one remeter beans were hot in now proteins. You know, intina was so did you me penny at you be any and no bet me nya kwon so ya papa be kan ye ni kwon so ya kan toss green ayi nketen ni na ye pa salmon ye ubetimi aresama obeyi okay waduane so nya se zoo super no nkere se obi wo ho didi nam we wiase ni na ebi go so je osono, you know, but it would not really matter. Intini aduane die mu die is very good. Obi on mo adamfo bi o se on won di vegetables me hwe die na nwi
ebi no fruits so
well maybe and so be sustaining no
you are from Third Eye.
Yes.
So when someone has cataract and they come to you, what kind of help would the person get?
Okay. And so the first thing we do is that we check the vision.
Okay.
Right. The vision can give us an idea of the severity of your cataracts. So the next thing, ABB, a friend of slit lamp examination. It's the light better in so, and then we look at the different structures of the lens to locate what type of cataract you have. Now, if glasses bit mabwa, we will do the glasses to aid the vision. But the last thing, which is probably one of the most important things I have to talk about, is that cataract, you know, the main solution, in a sense, is surgery. Yes.
And Ghana force through surgery.
Exactly.
Any operation. So I lay the fears of someone watching Max TV right now. Say as we hear who asema papa iken. I say no na me fam you. What I say solution e di mu a ya na mo time eye. And see eye na ni operation. Enye
hu. Because
uvi anipa ne benya na ni kama.
Yes. And before my operation, there are a few things I better check into. Obi wa ha na on sheda healthy as a person everywhere. Maybe or hypertension or diabetes, or say sanya ni affect the quality of the vision you get after the surgery. Until you find say bibia okay, you just have cataract. Cataract surgery is one of the most successful surgeries in the entire world.
It's Czech Republic number 1. Yeah. But according to WHO, Africa is also coming up big
because
time.
We do a lot of them. Now, it is one of the most successful surgeries that surgeons do.
And in Ghana?
Yes.
Oh,
in
Ghana.
Yeah, in Ghana. Until we were now every time my patients be yanko surgery, so me uncle be one story no beko be but out of the one person that will have a problem, you find a multitude of people who are okay. Yeah. Almost story in it there, it won't go far. But the one person...
Bad news travels very fast.
Yes. So the surgery, you know, first, to me, very big incisions to do the surgery. That was complicating it. See, I know, they do small incision and something they call frequent. They break the lenses and sort of suck out and then put an artificial lens inside. Very simple surgery. Maybe 15 to 20 minutes. A lot of government hospitals, you know, I think National Health, Tiaka now the Kakra, as also in Tijena and Shada, the Bon Shada and Yading.
Private phone,
Send the better logistics, but it's not an expensive surgery.
Well, cancer subium na obi. We are trying to save someone's vision this morning. Maybe they're experiencing all the symptoms you just talked about. Ghana Health Insurance, who can say in all government facilities, insurance,
yes.
Oh, this is excellent. You know, Kitty Eye Care Day, free eye examination, glasses and eye drops registration fee of 50 cedis into no third eye care and vision center amawoba media hu hia me kra mo because so onya sa problem no na say solve ya na say oh no e be check akrama no so because o say aging yin na so ye beni na me adom ye na pese age we age dey say lawu enti no we are what is happening with them no you have to go and look for them
maybe you can talk more about that a bit more
about the kids. Usually, there were 2 clinics, one at North Ridge, Sunny FM, same building, and one at Airport Residential, opposite Mirage, on the same lane as Association International School.
Okay, all right.
So you want to put some numbers out there? Somebody wants to call. You can't afford it. So, do you have the numbers of it?
No, I don't have it off it.
Okay.
I would just like to read the numbers online.
Okay. And so we're having a chat with Daniel Agyemang Edu. I hope I mentioned it right.
That's
He's
right.
an optometrist from Third Eye Care and Vision Center. They have a branch near Sunny FM. That's where I usually go. Yeah. It's right in the building with Sunny FM and one at Airport near Mirage. Okay, do you have your numbers ready now?
So I wanted to talk about the program that came up there. So it's a program we do every year.
Who can you train them?
Your program Afibia for Nkola. I think age up to 17. Okay. Starting completely free. But nobody didn't kakra.
Until say abofrani
from baby to 0 to 17 years.
Okay.
Into your registration fee be but what you get is free glasses, free medication, free examination.
Okay.
The last week in August.
Until I know 50 Ghana. Utuya e behwe. I'm
of your choice.
Where they are free bone to pow. Yes, if I ban braf say from there to 17. Yeah, we have a free bone to another.